Yeah, there's no love in the heart of the city, and you know it. This is the Way We See It show with me, Ralph Williams, and Bill Cannata. And I got to tell you, tonight we're in a 2-hour special. It's great to be here tonight for this wonderful 2-hour special. Coming up at 6:15, Republican mayoral candidate Tony Moreno will join us by phone at 6:15. Tony Moreno will join us. And now here's co-host Bill Cannata. Bill, welcome to the program, man.
Thanks for having me, brother. As always, it's great to be here.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and it's great that we're back and we're having a 2-hour show today because last week we were not available to have a show. Bill was in the process of moving, and I was under the weather, so between all that, we weren't able to get a show on. But we got one on today, and we're here, and we have a lot to talk about here to get you ready for your evening here on a Monday. I want to wish everybody a very happy President's Day. So, wish everyone that. I know a lot of you bankers and all those all had days off today. So, actually, that worked to my benefit because I have a friend in Florida in banking. So, there you go. All right. So let's get started here on Chinese wisdom here. But first, we gotta get into our sponsors here a little bit here. Our studio sponsor, especially, is hang on a minute. Our studio sponsors, Mata Heating and Air Conditioning, 724-2010-500, Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. All right, I wanted to bring up some bad news here a little bit, which is really sad, but bring up some bad news. Tomorrow's event, the Leadership Playbook featuring Claudio Rosano, has been postponed. Another date possibly will be set, but I got word this afternoon that it's been postponed. So tomorrow's Leadership Playbook with Claudio Rosano at the Highmark Stadium has been postponed. So just to let everyone know that as well. And tomorrow night's Sports Corner and Wrestle Talk are not going to be on tomorrow because I have another obligation, so they will not be on tomorrow. Sports Corner nor Wrestle Talk will be on tomorrow. Next week, we're going to have Kane and Christopher on for Wrestle Talk. He's an independent wrestler that I had the privilege of seeing a few weeks back at the Wrestle Rex down in the Strip District. All right, I want to get into something here, Bill, but first we're going to do our Chinese wisdom, and it says here, success is brought into your work. Success is brought into your work. So there you go. If you want success, bring it into your work. So there you go.
Absolutely.
Hey, Bill, I got to send this out to you here. Congratulations on getting your new place. You're back in Agony County. You know what I mean? They call it Agony. So.
Of course. So what I do, I look right out my window and I find out that the roads were not taken care of. How about that? So
you know what, Bill? You not being here in the city, you didn't miss nothing. It's all the same still.
Right.
They don't treat the streets, they don't pick up the garbage, they don't, you know what I mean? So
it's a warm welcome back. What can I say?
Oh, absolutely. There you go. You mean a cold welcome back?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we're supposed to have some weather coming through here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, all right, folks, we're going to get started here in a few moments. At 6:15, coming up in about 10 minutes. Tony Moreno will join us. He's going to come on and talk by phone. He's going to talk to us about his plans if he becomes mayor of the city of Pittsburgh. And I know there's a lot of you out there who think he has no chance. Let me tell you something. This guy has a chance now more than ever, especially Ed Gainey laying an egg on a lot of stuff that he's been doing in town here. First, Bill, let's get started. We'll talk with Tony about this later on, but let's get started here. Bad news in the Hill District. Salem's Market has closed up. They say it's a temporary closure. Something about money ran out of some kind. I hear they weren't making any money up there. Bill, tell me what you think the problem is up in the Hill District that they can't make money with these stores. Shop and Save was up there. That guy Ross, he was on today on one of the other radio stations today. He was on talking about how Ross from Ross Shop and Save. He said he had a Shop and Save up there. The theft was so bad he couldn't make any money. So and as soon as Pittsburgh police pulled the mini police station out of there, it got real bad. And but your thoughts on this Salem's Market not making it up in the Hill District?
Well, unfortunately, you just took the words right out of my mouth, brother. I mean, unfortunately, the theft is probably out of control, especially in Salem's Market. I mean, think about this. Since Shop and Save closed first, okay, and it was short that this guy closed. So, you know, I feel bad for these people up there. I mean, they're destroying their own community.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, with the theft and all that stuff, come on, guys, slow down a little bit, man. These people are pulling up because they're losing money. That's the problem. That's what I think. I mean, again, you just said it, and I had no idea that little sub police station pulled out of there, brother. I had no idea.
Well, yeah, Peduto pulled it out a few years back, you know, when he was still mayor. He pulled it out of there. Theft was just out of control. When I was doing Salvation Army, I used to ring the bell for him at Christmas time down at the Southside Giant Eagle. And I would talk to some of these people that were getting jitneys and getting cabs and going back over to the Hill District. They said they didn't like it there. They said the owner treated them like garbage at that Shop and Save, treated everybody with disrespect. And some of the employees they didn't like there. And so I don't know what happened there. I never shopped there. But I know everybody welcomes Salem's Market. But when I saw some of the footage on the news, there was nobody there. There's maybe 5 people, if at most, in that store. And I heard, you know, we have Brother Curtis that lives up there. He says that it's a little high price for the area, but it was a nice store. You know, once again, I don't know if it was theft, but I do know there was some funding that was brought up that was given to them to open that store. And it cost millions of dollars to open it. Now, and I hate to say this, but again, he got egg on his face because now this store's closed up because I don't know if it's theft or they just didn't make any money up there. You know, I don't know. You know?
Yeah, see, I didn't know about the high prices and so forth like that. I mean, you know, that's just
You
know,
well, it's not high, but it's just not standard pricing. My thoughts are on this, Bill. Why don't they put an Aldi up there? You know what I mean? Or one of them Save-A-Lots or something. Why don't you go put something like that up there?
I mean,
now for the community, they won't complain about it. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
I mean, now people are going to tread on broken glass just because of the simple fact that now they're afraid to put anything up there. Probably. I mean, you know, just think about it. I mean, they're going to be like theft is their number one priority on their mind, and then everything else will just, you know, because the prices and so forth would fall within suit. Like I'm sure that Shop and Save was following within suit. And then all of a sudden now this market closing down. And again, you know, with the prices and so forth, had no idea about that, you know. But I mean, it's just so sad because, you know, a community now is being destroyed. You know, the things are being taken away, and ain't nobody going to want to move up there. And so
they have to go to north side or south side to shop. And I mean, you know, that's one of the reasons they put the store up there was to basically have so people would be able to shop up there locally and not have to take a jitney or a cab or 2 buses or whatever it takes to get over there. You know?
Absolutely. It's painful for some of those people up there too, because some of those people live in those high rises, can't afford to go over to the south side or north side and this and that. Yeah. So
they have to take access, and access is a broken program. I mean, you know, I know that for a fact, you know.
Yeah, it really is. And these, you know, they close them down, and that's a convenience for the older people. You know, you know, especially the people who don't have automobiles and don't want to wait out in that cold and don't want to do this. I don't blame them. I mean, because you have to lug all that stuff back to your house. You got to get on the bus. You got to get on in a jitney or you know, access or whatever. That's a lot.
Right.
That's definitely a lot. I've driven access, so I kind of know the program.
Yeah, I have too. I've dispatched it. I know what it's like and what it is. And, you know, so it's a broken system, always will be. It's run by PRT. I mean, I'm not cracking jokes about them, but it's a broken program. They can't get people to drive now, you know, because of the laziness in our society today. You know, everybody is, nobody wants to work. And it's really out of control now. I mean,
Yeah.
and here's the problem I'm having right now that I'm seeing this, and we don't normally talk national politics or anything on here, but Trump cutting these national jobs now. Now all of a sudden, all the lazy people now are going to get up off their rump and go out and get a job and try to squeeze out these federal employees who are going to need a job that are going to get fired or get their contracts bought out or whatever. And now that's going to put a strain into the job market now. And then all of a sudden, the lazy people will wake up. What do you think?
I think so. I mean, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, if these guys are getting cut, then that's money that's lost from a paycheck not coming into this household.
Yeah, exactly.
So what do we got to do? Okay, then move it, guys. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, they need jobs everywhere. People, they can't find nothing. They're short on school bus drivers in the Baldwin Whitehall School District. Short on school bus drivers. My nieces are affected by that. They both take school buses. Wow. So I mean, to go to school. So
them are high-paying school bus positions up there too. Baldwin Whitehall. Everybody killed to get into that place at one time or another.
Yeah, exactly. And now they can't find people. I mean, so
exactly. School bus drivers being, I mean, we always need a bus drivers, but now even more so than none.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They can't find anybody to do anything, Bill, and it's affecting our economy. And I'm hoping that people start waking up and working for Trump because they're not working. They haven't been working for Biden, and that's Biden's fault because he went ahead and he gave all this money out to people, and then everybody expected it to last for a long time. Let me say this, and I think you'll agree with me on this, Bill. Overtime, benefits, money that's given to you by the government, that kind of stuff don't last long. It never does. Right. And overtime at a job don't last long. You could have overtime for 2-3 years and all of a sudden have none. You know what I mean? And if you're banking your money and yourself on overtime and you're banking yourself on, well, this, that, or whatever, that's not going to work. It's really not going to work at all. So, I mean,
Agree with you, brother. 100%.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right, hang on a minute.
Sure thing.
Okay, Tony, I'll be with you in a minute. All right, everybody. We're going to go to our guest who's on the phone here, Tony Moreno. Tony, welcome to the program.
Hey, Ralph. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. How you doing?
All right, I'm doing good. Say hello to my co-host, Bill Cannata, El Vento's nephew.
Hey, Bill. What's going on?
Hey, Tony. How you been, guys?
Yeah. Tony, it's great to have you on the show. You're my partner on the radio end of things on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. on 1250 The Answer, 92.5 on the FM dial. There it is, the banner right there. Every Saturday, Tony and I. This week we have the mayor of Turtle Creek, Adam Torsey, will join us. He's coming on. He's going to talk about him. He's running against Summer Lee in the next election, and he thinks he can beat her because he is the perfect example of what Summer Lee has not done. So, there you go. Turtle Creek, she's done nothing for any of the communities that she represents as of right now. But, Tony, tell us a little bit about yourself, some of the viewers here today that don't know who you are, and tell them, you're running for Republican for the mayor.
Oh, yeah. My name's Tony Moreno. I'm live in Pittsburgh on the north side, up in Brighton Heights. I was a city of Pittsburgh police detective for 24 years. I retired and decided to get into the political process because after doing 24 years of police work and doing my job right, I realized nobody else is doing their jobs right because it didn't get better, it got worse. And then when you get involved in the political process, you realize, wow, this is a cesspool of corruption here. So it's the fight of getting in, getting elected, and then cleaning everything up and sticking to what you told the people that asked you to be there, doing what you said you were going to do. So I'm running for mayor as the Republican candidate in the city of Pittsburgh. We haven't had a Republican since 1934. And anymore, I don't even think that party affiliation even matters. This is what we see in our politics right now. It's broken. There's problems with it, and we just need to fix it. And I believe that my outlook on it going forward is the way to get it fixed.
Tony, today I found out from a polling expert that I heard on the radio today that polled 10,000 city of Pittsburgh citizens and asked them about the mayor's race, and they said they will vote for anybody other than they will not anybody. They'll vote for anybody but Ed Gainey. Your thoughts on that poll today?
Well, I happen to agree with that. Except it should be Tony Moreno is the one that's going to take us out of this mess and at least get us straight just so we can live our lives. You know, people are angry because today's ability to find out information has never been greater. So when even as far back as 4 years ago, we didn't have the reach that we did, but let's just go back 10 years or even a little bit longer, maybe 15 years before we had smartphones. We had to rely on what we were told instead of being able just to go find the information and see for ourselves. Now that's happening, and people don't like the fact that the issues aren't about money anymore. It is about money. It's not getting fixed, but it's not because they don't have it. They have it. They're just stealing it from us. It's our taxpayer dollars that are used to that are supposed to go forward and take care of the issues we see on the street. You know, get the snow taken off the street, fill the potholes, clean up the trash, empty the trash cans. You know, that public works thing is very meaningful because it builds that self-esteem when you look at a clean city and you know everything's taken care of. And then you got to keep people safe, Ralph.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this in your face, we're not going to do anything. You're just going to be a victim no matter what you do is not the right way to go. Everybody wants to feel safe. It affects everything. So just putting your foot down and saying, this is what's going to happen first. It's the hierarchy of needs. You have to be safe. You can't do anything until you're safe. So that's a main focus. I know where the money's at. I know how they're misspending it. I understand the leadership problems. These are all very fixable, and they're very fixable in a very quick timing manner. You just have to have the will to do it. And then you go, and then the next problem is housing. And you and I talk about it all the time.
Absolutely. That's the biggest problem we have in this town. But to spend $100 million on affordable housing and not taking some of that money and buying new public works vehicles and not buying ambulances, breaking down with a guy with a heart attack in the ambulance, fire trucks breaking down, heading to the fire, police vehicles breaking down. You know, Anthony Coghill said on the radio show when I had him on before you joined me, Tony, and he said, and I quote, I went out and I had to get a grant to get 40 brand new police vehicles because we didn't have the money in the city of Pittsburgh for police vehicles. So it's pretty sad that all this money that came from the American Rescue Fund all got redirected in another direction. Bill, do you have any questions for Tony?
No, I'm just listening. It sounds fantastic right now there. I you know, definitely.
Well, here, Ralph, let me follow up with what you just said.
Go ahead.
You got it. I know what the council person is saying is true. He's not lying. But what they're not telling you is, first, there is already budgeted dollars in the city's regular budget. You know, yeah, there's ARPA money out there, but that was supposed to be used to build what we had going because we weren't able to do that during COVID lockdowns.
Right.
They stole that and squandered it, but it doesn't take away from the fact that there was money placed in the budget for a certain amount of vehicles for maintenance. That money was there. They squandered that money on top of the ARPA money. So now they have to go back and say, oh, our vehicles don't work because we don't have the money. Well, no, before there's any loans taken out or any bonds received, we need to go find out who's responsible for the original dollar amount that was set aside to fix these in the first place. That's where the corruption lies. Of course, we're going to say, oh my gosh, let's approve this because we need to have good running ambulances.
Right.
Well, wait a minute. What about the smack off that stole it? Somebody's responsible for it, and they're ignoring that whole part. And that's what I refuse to do, is ignore that. That's our money, and we're suffering for it. So that's a responsibility and accountability and a transparency that I am going to bring back to government.
All right, Tony Moreno joining us by phone, Republican candidate for mayor of the city of Pittsburgh. Please go out and vote. In this next election. And we're in the Mata Heating and Air Conditioning Studios. We're here at Studios 808 in the Allentown section of the city of Pittsburgh. And I'm alive and well even after a shooting in here that almost, I almost got in the middle of somehow. But you know what I mean? I mean, I wasn't really in the middle of it, but I was it was here in my building, one floor up from my apartment. So, and anyway, Tony is brought to you by Keystone Coach Works. Call them today, 412-833-1900. Keystone Coach Works. Ask for Dawn. Tell Dawn Ralph Williams sent you. They have the best in wheelchair accessible vans. I have a wheelchair accessible van that I got from Keystone Coach Works. And let me tell you something. They're great people over there. They'll fit it the way you want it. And also, they have financing as well. So if you can't afford it right away, hey, they have some financing for you as well. All right. Okay, let's get back to our conversation here. Bill and I are having a conversation on the phone. On the phone with us, joining us is Tony Moreno. He is the Republican candidate for the mayor of the city of Pittsburgh. Tony, I've been asking you questions over the last several weeks on the radio show on Saturday, but I'm going to ask you a couple today. What are your plans on dealing with public works?
Well, first we have to increase the pay of public works and the policies. Let's just address what's happening to us right this second.
Right.
It's the snow removal.
Oh.
The city of Pittsburgh's policy is to not prep the roads before they know that there's bad weather coming. They stopped doing that a few years ago. Then they do not deploy any of these resources until there's at least 2 inches of snow already on the ground. That's their policy. They won't say it because they know it's ridiculous. They can't explain why they're doing that other than what I know is they're trying to make it as difficult for automobiles to be mobile in the city of Pittsburgh. That's the Bike Pittsburgh method. It's in their charter on how they talk about how they're moving through Pittsburgh. So it's not surprising to me. But then you have that mismanagement of monies that we're talking about. They have money to maintain the vehicles, but they squandered it. So now you have 1/3 of the trucks are broken. 1/3 of our fleet is broken. Then comes the issue of having the manpower to drive those trucks. Now, there's a racial aspect to what I'm about to say here. In Public Works, a few years ago, they separated off the environmental division, meaning this is the trash trucks and the recycling trucks. The Public Works big truck drivers that have CDL licenses
Right.
get paid $3 an hour more than the environmental services drivers for the same exact certification.
Wow.
Now, you got to say, why is that a racial issue? Well, because 90% of Public Works is white and 90% of environmental services is black. So they're paying the black drivers $3 less an hour than the white drivers.
Yeah, that's
now
not
what
right.
really
That's
makes
not fair.
them mad is when they have to come in. The Public Works drivers got to come in and work the environmental services. They don't take a pay drop. They keep that $3 more pay. But if an environmental services driver goes over to Public Works, they don't get brought up either. They have to work at that same rate of pay. So there's this blatant racism that runs inside of government, and it drives people apart. They know that there's a problem. Why doesn't environmental services complain? Because they got good jobs with benefits, and they're being strangled over there, and it's hard to fight when you give them a little bit of a raise. They're kind of stuck. They're not treated appropriately.
Right.
Then on top of that, Ralph, we don't pay at the average rate that CDL drivers get across the board out here. They're about $5 an hour short, so they can't keep people. So it's just this mismanagement is what we're seeing. It's not because we don't have the ability. We just don't have smart people running the show.
Yeah, tune into the radio show on Saturday morning, and also tune in here as I'm asking Tony some questions as things he would do if he's mayor of the city of Pittsburgh. And I want him to tell you what he's going to do because it's important that you know that Tony is serious about what he's doing here. This is no joke. He might be running in the Republican Party, but it's not a joke here for what he wants to do. We've changed this country with a Republican president. We can change the city with a Republican mayor. We just need to change our way of thinking in this town, just like the country changed their way of thinking. So, I mean, and that's what we have to do here. This is getting a little out of control. It started with Murphy, worked its way down to Peduto, and now Ed Gainey. and it's really out of him. Bill, do you have any questions or anything you want to add here?
No, he's definitely right about the CDL rate for sure. I mean, both of us had a CDL
Yeah,
license.
we got CDLs, yes.
Work down for the one Monarch, which was down over there on Smallman Street. And so, yeah, definitely the CDL thing was definitely an issue with that. And then also what he was talking about the race. I mean, I have to intervene with that too. He's right. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, there were some black school bus drivers back in the day even talking and moaning about everything that was going on with them, as well as when they were putting on new hirees. So
Yes.
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
they need to be well
There has
recognized.
to be some equality in the workforce, because if you have equality, you have a good workforce. I mean, it'll work for you. The mayor of the city has to get somebody to work for him, and work for the people, because that's why
the
you're
problem,
there.
Ralph.
Yes.
That's a problem. That what you just said, that equality, it's that standard baseline that everybody comes there and expects to see. And when you don't see that, it's even the most primal animals understand fairness. Like, you can't give one of the beans 5 apples and then the other bean 1 apple. They'll fight immediately. It's so just those basic things, even safety in the workforce, Ralph. How are you going to want to come to the city of Pittsburgh, where that a public works employee who was bragging about getting promoted to supervisor, that he's going to be a boss, but it cost him $10,000, and they kidnapped him, they physically tortured him, put him in a coma, and he was in the hospital for 2 weeks because that's what was kidnapped him out of his city vehicle, and there was never an explanation, an investigation, or any kind of justice to what happened there. So that recruitment is hard because you see people getting abused inside of your own divisions.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, here I have email mailbag ralphwilliams737@gmail.com. It says, great job on here with your stuff, Tony. It's great that you're running for mayor, and we're going to change the city together. Next, it says here, I don't vote for Republicans. I'm a sole Democrat. I will vote for Corey O'Connor, but I will say this: I do like what Tony has to say. So there you go. You got an O'Connor voter who says he does like what you're saying, Tony, and agrees with what you're saying, and said this, and I've heard this before. If O'Connor doesn't get elected in the primary, and Ed Gainey gets elected or gets in the primary, there's a lot of O'Connor voters that are going to come your way, Tony. That's exactly what I'm hearing.
I'm going to break their hearts. I'm going to break their hearts right now.
Go ahead.
Because I've watched several debates, and the whole reason everybody wants Corey O'Connor is because Bob O'Connor was such a well-respected person in politics. He was coming in as a mayor with an overwhelming mandate to take lead here. He was pro-police. Everybody knew who Bob O'Connor was and how he worked. So that was the call out. They see this crazy madness that's happening with the mayor's office as we speak, and they're looking for hope in the Democrat Party. So they reach out and they want Corey because he was his dad's son.
Right.
Well, Corey's not his father's son. And Corey has at every debate claimed, now, what do we talk about, Ralph? They don't want the progressive socialists inside the Democrat Party.
Exactly. Yeah, I want him out. I'm running against Bethany Hallam in 2027, Tony, because I want her out. I want all these progressives out of here. It starts with Xander Ornstein, the district justice who keeps letting people out on no bail, and his other pals that are district justices, and Bethany Hallam, Summer Lee, John Fetterman. I want them all out because they're not doing anything for development.
You could put the county controller, Corey O'Connor, in that same box because he is steady professing that he is embracing his progressive values. At every debate, he says it 3 or 4 times. The reason those blue dog Democrats, where I came from, were reaching out to him was to fight the progressives there.
Right.
And then if you listen to Corey and Mayor Gainey talk about policy issues, they don't change their policies. They are together on the policies, just how they're implementing them. And Corey O'Connor has made the statement at the Young Democrats of Allegheny County debate that he was asked, Hey, people think that this is nepotism at the highest level, that you're just running because your dad's last name. And he said, I am not Bob O'Connor. I am Corey O'Connor, and I have my own record. Go back and look at it. So I went back and looked at it, and Corey O'Connor authored the defund the police bill. He's the one that put in play the stoppage of the money for the training academy on purpose to lower the police officers. So everybody that wants to have Corey as their hero that's going to save them, all Corey is a replay and somebody that's trying to build their place in the Progressive Party. He's going to spend the money exactly the same way you see it being spent now. Nothing will change. This is the same exact play coming over and over again. So sorry, O'Connor fans. I know he got $700,000, but you're wasting your money if you think you're getting somebody new. That's why you got to vote for me. I'm pragmatic. I'm not doing this political garbage. I just want to come in, get the city straight so we could all live correctly, and I'll show you how your money's getting spent. So Tony Moreno for mayor in 2025.
All right, Tony, hang on for a second here. We're in the comment section here. It says Jill Weimer, I'm sorry. Hi, I'm new here. Well, hello, Jill. Welcome to the program. And I want to say welcome to the program, and thanks you're new here. We talk about local stuff here in the Pittsburgh and Western Pennsylvania area, and once in a blue moon, we'll throw a national topic in there. And we have a thing coming up, Tony, if you want to stay for this segment. It's real quick. It's called Stupid Never Takes a Vacation. And we tell stuff that's stupid,
well,
you know.
There's no way I'm leaving that.
Yeah, I don't want to hold you up, Tony. I don't know how much time you have. Do you have a few more minutes or whatever?
I got whatever you need, Ralph. I'm here
right.
for you, brother.
All right, great. Okay, here we go. Now we're gonna get into Stupid Never Takes a Vacation here, and then we'll get back to more with Tony Moreno, and Bill can interact as well. All right, a woman was busted at the airport again at Pittsburgh International with a handgun. So there you go. I always set the alarm off because that's people at the airport. Jill says she's in Pittsburgh. Great. Jill, I'm so happy to have you on here. It's great to be part of the program. And I want to say congratulations to Bill here, my co-host. He's got a new place. He's living in Squirrel Hill, and that's good for him. And unfortunately, Tony had to look out his window and see streets untreated. So there you go. You know.
Well, now I know how he's describing it, brother. I didn't know. See, that policy was in place 2 or more inches on the ground. I didn't know that, but there was 2 or more inches out there this morning, though.
Right.
And you know, when I went out to go to the parking lot there to leave, there was definitely 2 or more inches. But you know, again, we just don't know. I mean, it's always in place, but who knows on where you know that all trickles down from? If you know what I mean, Tony.
Right.
And you know,
well, I know where it comes from. It's a long explanation, but it's basically the environmental movement. They want to limit the roads. I'm not exaggerating when I tell you, when you go over to that Hazelwood Green, there's a guy out there that's a very strong community person named Mike. Mike will go down there and video them cleaning the bike path off and not cleaning the road. It's the most bizarre thing. But you know what? Hey, there's another issue to this also. Technology is not always the answer. They put these GPSs on the trucks and slow down, you drop more salt, speed up, not so much salt, all this garbage. It doesn't work. So what
I'm not laughing at you, Tony. I'm laughing at Jill. She said PennDOT sucks.
Well, we just got to get back to, you know what? Bill Peduto mocked our drivers and said, oh, they're still using off the clipboard hanging on a wall. We need technology. Well, we spent millions of dollars on your stupid technology in this spot.
And it kept breaking down. You know?
Give those guys those clipboards back. They know these streets. Let them go clean the streets. That's it. Just let them go.
Hey, I don't know if you remember this or not, Tony, but back when Steve Bland was in charge of Port Authority, he decided to put in these new fare boxes with the new Connect card. And when they put them in at first, nobody knew how to fix them. So they had to spend another $30 million to bring people in from out of state to fix them. And it cost $60 million instead of $30 million to put these fare boxes in. And now they're obsolete now. And they're obsolete now. And they're going to go with Jill says go Trump. All right, there we are. PennDOT sucks, and she's from the north side, where Tony
north
Moreno
side.
is from. There we go. Hey,
412, go.
hey, Tony, did you hear about that accident this morning down on Eckerd Street?
Yeah, I mean, well, I heard about a lot of accidents, but
no, but that one down on Eckerd there by Donnie's Diner down there, and so I have from what I saw, it looks like the street wasn't again. Here we go. The street wasn't salted or plowed, and that car come down the street and slid and banged into a wall underneath the railroad trestle. So
Yep, it came right down that hill and just lost it and spun right around. It's just, it's mismanagement. It's lack of leadership. It's the inability to move forward, all because of political bendings. There's nobody being pragmatic about what needs to be done. That's all. That's all they need to do. Get a bunch of salt, put it in the domes, get a bunch of trucks that work, and let these guys view this as a competition. Ralph,
right?
They are like, you know what? If you can't get up that street, I'm getting up that street. I don't need help. I'm going to take this. I'm going to salt that street, and you guys can't do it. It's a sense of pride, and that's another thing. It's the atmosphere that they work under. It's just not good. So everything needs to be improved here.
Well, let me ask you this question. And they had some issues about a month ago with Negley Avenue. The hill part of Negley Avenue that goes from Fifth Avenue to Wilkins. Okay, yeah. You go uphill and then you go downhill. All right. The upper part never gets salted. They always have to close it up. But 1 week they didn't salt it. The drivers that were told to salt it stayed back at the station and decided to smoke pot instead of going up there and handling it. So Billy's laughing because it's not, and all these cars are going sideways down Negley Avenue, and they're back at the headquarters smoking pot on a Sunday or something. I think it was on a Sunday that happened. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
I mean, come on, let's be real about that, Ralph. If you were driving, if you were told to go fix that, go up there and drive that, and you saw a bunch of wrecked cars on an ice covered road, you're like, man, let's just go out and blow a joint right now.
All right, Jill says blame Trump, LOL. Of course, we're not going to do that, but all right. And then Jill says my brother-in-law used to work for Rid-Up with Bob O'Connor. There you go. So that Jill's brother-in-law. I helped Bob when he ran for mayor. Tony, I really believe that I think this time around you have a lot of momentum going with being on the radio show with me. We're the radio show of Tony Moreno and his campaign, because the Big K, some people in the Big K don't seem to like you, and I don't care. They don't like me either, and I don't care who that person does or doesn't like. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. The Central Catholic Mafia is strong.
Yeah, I know the Central Catholic Mafia. Yeah, there you go. So all right.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard for me to watch this city, the Democrats in this city, clamoring for an answer, and their answer is Corey, not my father's son, O'Connor, because that person is responsible for the parks tax being squandered. That person's responsible for the immigration and refugee program being completely out of control. That person's responsible for the police department being in the disarray that it is. Yes. He's blatantly a part of everything that we're suffering from right now. He's just the white guy.
Yeah.
What's the difference between Ed Gainey and Corey O'Connor when you ask them about policy issues?
Exactly. It's the same thing. They both quote the same thing. How about that ICE thing? How about that? Same. Corey O'Connor put out the same statement that Ed Gainey put out. And next week here on this show, I will show the two statements. The one Ed Gainey put out and the one Corey O'Connor put out on this program. Because
that's why
I say for everyone to look at.
There's a bigger race problem in the Democrat Party than they're letting on to. I know it. I was over there. I experienced it.
The Democrats are a wreck, Tony, all across the country. I mean, I
don't care about care about across the country. They could be a wreck. I don't care who's a wreck across the country. Right where I lay my head, it's a mess. And there are problems. And I can't stand watching it. And I can't stand hearing it. Both these men are the same. What was that movie when they were in Korea? Same, but different.
Yeah.
The only difference is one guy's black and one guy's white. And guess who got the $700,000 from all the big unions?
Corey.
The white guy.
Yeah, the white guy. Yeah.
So I mean that's
Exactly.
not me, but that's
And
the
who's
truth.
losing money? Ed Gainey. He
Oh,
lost every the Iron Workers Union. They made a statement saying that they voted that he promised them all kinds of stuff and tied up their permits, jammed them up. Remember the UPMC thing?
oh yeah,
He jammed up their permits and stuff. And
right before Christmas.
right before Christmas, exactly. He jammed up their permits. So now he doesn't
Yeah,
have the
they
Iron
don't.
Workers vote.
They're not
He doesn't
smart.
care. He doesn't even care. You know?
Nope. He thought he
So
was going to ride that wave through, but you know that's what happens when you have to use money to influence policy instead of finding somebody that has good policy. You know, we're seeing this all play out. You don't
yes.
hear Corey O'Connor saying, "I am going to do something drastically different because what's happening right now is not working." Ralph, they're about to lose all their funding across the board for all this housing transition.
Yeah, they are. The Governor Shapiro said something about that. Our city was going to lose state money if we go below 300,000 people, and
Well,
it's
that's
about to
garbage.
happen.
Listen, that's a threat.
Well, right,
That's a threat.
right.
They have
We're
to.
going to
This
be a
city
Class
will.
B city again.
The only thing that will happen is that the state will now take control, and they will have to open our books, and they will see everything that they've been doing.
Oh,
The only reason
you mean
they
like
don't
another
want
Act
that.
47? You mean?
Well, if we drop under 300,000 people,
Right,
that means the state now has all the ability to. They wouldn't be able to put speed humps in. The
right,
city wouldn't without the state's permission. The state would say, "Well, where are you getting the money for that?
right.
Because it's not in your budget."
So if they need porta potties for the parks, they'd have to go through the state to get the porta potties. Am I correct?
Exactly,
Okay.
and that's what they don't want. They don't want those books opened, Ralph.
No, they don't.
And then it's embarrassing. Do you want to be the mayor that dropped under
It was
300,000?
Murphy. It was Murphy. We were in Act 47 with Murphy, and so all right. Jill says she agrees with me 100%. Thank you, Jill, for that. And then also, let's see here. Jill says, what else here? How about the sinkhole with the bus? Yeah, I remember that. That was bad. I even knew who the driver was because she drove out of a garage I drove out of when I worked at Port Authority. And Jill says yes on that. And then Jill says liberals want a handout. Yeah, they do. They always want handouts, all of them. It's because of your feeding because of feeding the illegals. And that's another story. The ICE situation. I do know one thing. Ed Gainey's in trouble with the federal government because of the statements he made about how he's not going to let the police help the ICE go find these immigrants. And Tony, why don't you explain to everybody about the Villa de Marillac up in Stanton Heights? Go ahead and explain that.
Oh man.
So there's a Vincentian nursing home that was up there.
Yeah,
There's
Bill
a group
and I
of
know
them.
it. Yes.
So there's what's curious is I was talking to somebody about it last night, Ralph, and they have a sister building over there in Squirrel Hill, right behind, or maybe it's Point Breeze, but behind the Giant Eagle.
Right.
They have one there that's closed, and it's been closed. So this brings another question. But last year, right around the time Sarah Namarato got elected and started moving, they closed that building, and nobody knew what happened. Nobody knew what happened to the people in it. And then all of a sudden, one of the residents up there that lives close to it, who is a business person, a very, very good man, he sees that there's people getting moved in there, and he's like, "What's going on here?" So he goes and asks questions, and nobody will tell him. And it's very important that he knows what this building's getting turned into because it affects the value of his home.
Right.
The property value is of his home. So he's very interested. And there's a school down the street.
Right. Yeah.
So
Sunnyside. Yes.
they won't answer him.
Oh,
So he files a lawsuit just to find out what the action was because there was no public engagement. There was no zoning notices, nothing. Well, the judge says that he didn't have what I don't remember exactly the verbiage that the judge denied his lawsuit, so he filed an appeal.
right.
And his standing for the appeal is very strong. Well, once they heard that, they being Ed Gainey, the mayor of Pittsburgh, and Sarah Namarato, the executive of Allegheny County, they moved the full force of their law departments. So I know that the city has about 27 attorneys that work for them. However many the county has, they all have now come against this man who, with his own money, with no political leaning towards this at all, now they're coming against him because they're moving immigrants in there. Actually, they don't know who they're moving in there. All he knows is there's some people that don't speak English. They don't know where they're going. They're not from here. There's an issue. They don't have the wraparound services that they promised.
Yeah, that
with
the homeless
social,
get, right. Yes.
right. So the issue is these zoning board changes have not been solidified. They haven't gone to council for a final vote. So what they're doing is they've committed the crime already of emptying this building without proper zoning or engagement, bringing people into the building without proper vetting or wraparound services, and nobody knows what in the world just happened. They now have no trespassing signs, and it's like, wait a minute, what is going on here? Then we find out that whole action is being funded by the Catholic charities.
Okay.
And the Catholic charities seemingly just kicked out a bunch of people from an old folks home, that a care home, because they couldn't afford to live anywhere else.
Right.
And they weren't able to take care of themselves, but they just splatter these people all across the county and then leave a building empty and then bring in people that we have to pay for. So, and then they're defending it with our tax dollars. They purposely broke the rules. They moved people in that we don't know, and they're paying for it. They got rid of people that needed it, and we're paying for not only all those things that are illegal, but now we're paying for the attorneys to defend against it. It's absolute madness, but something is finally moving towards it. So I think we're going to see some good outcomes here. I just feel bad for the people that were promised, hey, you come over here and we're going to take care of you. You don't have to worry about anything, because they were just lied to.
Wow. Tony Moreno's joining us by phone here. He's running for mayor, city of Pittsburgh, under the Republican banner. Bill, you have any questions? Anything you want to add?
I just want to say hello, Jill. And Tony, I hope you understand this, but I'll go ahead and decipher it. Tony, they're toutes pots. That means they're totally crazy. This whole thing is totally crazy. Blown out of proportion, cuz. I tell you, that's all I got to say. I mean, it's been a whirlwind, a mess anywhere. You know what I mean, Brother Ralph? You know what I mean, Tony?
Right.
Yes, absolutely. And, and now and I'm glad you're here today, Tony, because to educate everybody of our viewing audience here as to what's going on in this town. I mean, and what needs to be taken care of. And we need change here. And I mean, and we did it federally with Donald Trump. And now I think it's going to happen. I call Biden the chief progressive. And I think now that he's out and it's going across the country and in his town, things are going to exactly get where they need to get. Jill said exactly, and also said ludicrous on what you were talking about, Tony. That is a shame. And if you've noticed lately, and you heard on the news about stuff going on in Stanton Heights, how about that?
Well, guess what? I was up there doing a video. If you go to my Facebook page, it's Pittsburgh's Tony Moreno, Moreno, or just go Tony Moreno and I'll pop up there.
Right.
I did a video last Friday, Valentine's Day, at that Vincentian building, because they had put some fences up, and we had found out some new information about the funding. Like we're funding this, and we don't know, and they're breaking the rules. Well, shortly thereafter, there was a reported stabbing in the neighborhood by somebody out of that building.
Yeah, I remember that.
How about that?
Stabbing? That I knew. You know what, Tony? I didn't have to guess it. I knew it happened from somebody from that building came out and stabbed somebody. You know what I mean? And it's down the street from where my grandmother used to live. It's down the block from her old house. Can you imagine if I bought the house with my first wife when my grandmother died? That house was for sale. My aunt was going to sell it to us, to my first wife and I. And we were living there and had to put up with this. I mean, and even my second wife here, Rhonda, if the two of us were living up there right now and we had that house, had to put up with all that up there.
Well, this gentleman told me that his property value has now gone down $30,000 from the time that place opened.
Yeah.
$30,000. That seriously is hurting people. This is one of the nicest areas It
Stanton Heights is a great area.
It holds the highest uh, individual black wealth in the city. Like, so when you go around the city and you're like, okay, where's the black middle class? Where's the black upper class? It sits in Stanton Heights. People work really hard to be able to move to Stanton Heights.
Yes.
It's such a nice neighborhood. And it's not, I don't believe in coincidence, Ralph. I say that a lot, but it's irony that they chose that home to move these people in the most racial equity in the city. It's 49% black, 51% white.
Yes.
The wealth average is way up there. Home ownership's way up there. And you stick them in this home after kicking people out, when at the same time that elderly home, care home over in Point Breeze has been empty. If they wanted an empty place, they could have went there. But why didn't they?
Yeah, that's a good question. You have that one at Stanton in Highland too. You got that nursing home there too as well. Bill's aunt was there once. Yeah, same ownership. Yeah. That makes no sense to me at all.
It's the progressives making a point.
Yeah.
We're going to go into your nicer neighborhoods and we're going to shove this in here. And you have to ask them why they did it. This is now my assumption or my reasoning to what they're doing, because it doesn't make sense, but they did choose that. So it's all intentional and on purpose. Those things also, I learned through listening to folks talk about what's going on. These housing issues, because the URA is holding on to these properties and won't sell them, or people are holding on to the properties because they know the URA is going to pay top dollar for it. So if they just hold on to it, the URA will give them more money than they could get on the open market. So that keeps all these prices up instead of being competitive.
Well,
so the city of Pittsburgh is literally controlling at every available option how the housing operates in the city of Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And let me give you a prime example here. 12,000 pieces of property that the city owns that haven't been rented or used. And then the city of Pittsburgh is the slummest landlord in the state. They were rated #1 slummest landlord in the state.
Well, that's Corey O'Connor talking to all the big wigs downtown.
Yes.
But what they failed to understand is those properties just didn't go empty under Bill or Ed Gainey's watch.
Right.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, we elected the black guy and then 12,000 properties went empty. Those were all empty when Corey O'Connor was the council person for 11 years.
Yeah.
All of them. He was in charge. When he goes up to Cali Rec Center over here on my north side, and he's standing in front of this dilapidated rec center, and he says, oh, they've mismanaged this money. It's like I just want to step on his toe and go, hey, you were in charge of the parks money and all of the parks when you were on council. You allowed this to happen. All your movements led to this happening. It's not like we're going to get new leadership here. We're just going to get a replay of the same old tired movie.
Absolutely. Jill says, we the people, citizens, absolutely. And then Jill also says money is the reason for a lot of this stuff too as well. And we all know about that. And Tony, I'm going to have you on here for another 5 minutes, and then I'm going to have to let you go. Bill and I got 1 more hour of the show to do, and we're going to do some things here. And we'll talk with you for our show on Saturday. But what I wanted to talk to you about today was Deb Gross came out and said at City Council that they wanted to use the bill at the Merrick from Vincentian. They wanted to use that as a homeless place. Now, I know some of the neighbors that live in the back there, that their yards sit in the back there. Okay. And they were concerned about the homeless people. Oh, we promised we're going to have monitors there. We're going to have security there. And just like you said, Tony, they just went ahead, threw some immigrants in there. And I heard a story. They're trying to hide those immigrants in there from ICE. And let me tell you something. Ed Gainey could be in trouble if that happens here. And that is really the case. Ed Gainey could be in big trouble. They're trying to prosecute the mayor of New York because he's holding illegal immigrants at the Roosevelt Hotel. So, I mean, you know, and you know, if he's holding them there and he's not telling ICE where they are, he could be in trouble. I mean, really.
Well, let's talk about what you just said, Ralph.
Okay.
Now, you know, in my previous very successful law enforcement career. I was an investigator, so that's how I look at all these things through that kind of lens. And it's not about just what Deb Gross is saying. Oh, we want to use these empty spaces to help the homeless. All right, that's we need to tug at everybody's heartstrings. We need to make everybody feel bad because the politicians that run this city have created the atmosphere that forced those people to live on the bike paths and in the planters in tents. It's their fault. But their answer is, well, if we just get transitional housing, then that'll help them get permanent housing. Well, this is all just a test run. They needed to do this and make people feel bad. And this is an emergency. We need to change the zoning laws. They need to do all of this so they can permanently set their changes. And then you're going to see this miraculous healing of people of all their ailments. They aren't going to be addicted anymore. They're not going to be suffering mental illness anymore. They're going to be able to now move out. And what are you going to do? Now there's no more homeless problem. Oh, well, we have all this available housing. Let's bring in some of our new neighbors, some new refugees. Let's bring them in because they were fleeing their country. Well, it's all a fraud. It's a charade. They're lying to us. What do I say, Ralph? They've already committed the crime. That Gateway 3 building's already been converted for residential.
Yes.
Why in the world would a developing company spend millions of dollars in converting one of those buildings and not be able to move people in right away?
Right.
They are caught in a trap of this zoning issue. They need to go backwards and change the laws so it doesn't look like they broke them. They've planned this. All this money's coming in here, and now it just got shut off by the government. They are scrambling, and the only people suffering the worst are the neighbors in the city of Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. Tony, thank you for being part of the program today. I really appreciate it. We'll bring you back on maybe in the next week or two, talk some more about city of Pittsburgh politics and what's going on in your plans on what you plan to do when you become mayor. And I still haven't been able to get a hold of your competition, Tom West, trying to get him on so you guys can have a debate on the radio show. I'm still working on that.
I don't think anybody wants to debate me, Ralph. I can't get anybody to commit. Corey O'Connor just bailed out of the
I can't even get a hold of him. I mean, I tried on his election platform. I can't find him. And Ed Gainey's Olga George, she hasn't even got back to me yet. So it's like, you know what I mean? I'm still the redheaded stepchild in broadcasting in this town, but that's going to change real soon. So
that's all right, gentlemen. I appreciate the time tonight. Thank you. Go to my Facebook page, Pittsburgh's Tony Moreno. Like it and share it. Watch all my videos. You will learn so much about what's going on that you're gonna want to change everything immediately after watching a few of my videos. So I appreciate it, Ralph. Godspeed, gentlemen.
All right, thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Paisan.
Billy said thank you, Paisan. That's also thank you. I'm half a Paisan too, so there you go. All right.
I'm a Viking and I'm Mexican.
Oh, there you
go. It's Moreno, like Rita or Omar.
All right, there you are.
All right, we'll see you.
All right, Tony Moreno, Republican candidate for mayor of the city of Pittsburgh. Bill, your thoughts on this, and we're going to get to our second hour.
It's something else. It really is. It's just really an eye opener. I think I might have to go and check it out to get well educated because it's a lot. I mean, let you know this. I mean, I wasn't really like all in on the inside since I was outside, but now I'm back on the inside. I'm gonna have to take a look at that a little bit more. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And see, here's the problem, Bill. A lot of people don't get involved in this stuff, and then they want to know why things aren't what they are. Get involved, vote.
Yeah.
Find out, get the information that Tony has. Get the information out there. Make your choice. Don't just sit there and pull the Democratic lever because it's all Democrats or you're a progressive or something like that. Hey, let me tell you something. The progressives are going to run this town into the ground. It's that simple. All right. They don't care about development. They don't care about corporations who create jobs. They have picked on UPMC. I mean, I get it. Okay, please, I get it. UPMC has not done what they're supposed to do as a nonprofit, but they are the second largest job producer in this town, if not the number one. And why would you pick on somebody like that develops, brings in reputation, doctors, brings in Elon Musk was here at a UPMC hospital to get surgery. We've had professional wrestlers, athletes all come here. Famous people come to Pittsburgh to get operated on, and where? At UPMC. So, I mean, I get it. I get it. Bill and I, we have no issues with UPMC with their doctors and stuff. But business wise, they need to conduct themselves as the right way of a nonprofit. I don't know what it is, but the last 3 mayors have tried to attack UPMC for their nonprofit status. I have no idea why, but that's the way it is. All right, and I get it. Maybe they're not doing what they're supposed to do, and if that's the case, then shame on them. They need to do what they're supposed to do. All right. Okay. Oh yeah. When we come back, hour number 2 of The Way We See It, right after this. Oh yeah, you know it. Hour number 2 of The Way We See It. Yeah, that's right. The Sopranos. All right, yeah, you know it. Everybody's got a gun around Pittsburgh, especially when all the shootings and stabbings and everything going on around here and the shortage of police. You know exactly what's going on. All right, Bill Cannata, welcome back here for hour, and I repeat, hour number 2 of The Way We See It. We just had hour number 1 where we had 45 minutes. We had Tony Moreno join us. He's running for mayor under the Republican banner, City of Pittsburgh. Bill, I want your comments on what Tony had to say, more of your comments, and then we'll get into the second hour of the show.
Like I said, I need to be more educated. I mean, he's really took a wealth of information and put it in my thought process for sure. I mean, there's so much going on, it's kind of like being on the inside that we don't know.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and that's why we're here, Bill. We're here to educate the public, tell everybody what's going on, bring on some quality guests when we can, things like that. And of course, the streets weren't salted again. No calcium chloride in the rock salt. They're using sand, from what I understand. $32 million was supposed to be allocated for public works vehicles and also for public safety vehicles, and they have 6 million, 7 million, and they just got 4 brand new ambulances. So it's just a crazy situation, and it needs to change. But we'll get into some more of that coming up. But we're in the MARTA Heating and Air Conditioning Studios here at Studio 808 in the Allentown section of the City of Pittsburgh. MARTA, you ought to call MARTA today, 724-201-0500. MARTA Heating and Air Conditioning. And also, that'll be coming up later on anyway. But all right, Bill, we got plenty to talk about here. But here's another stupid never takes a vacation. All right. A metal band drummer was fired from a metal band. It's some off-the-wall band that nobody knows about too much for misconduct with a fan. What a dummy. That stupid never takes a vacation. So, there you go there. And then the other one was another person, Bill, and this shocks the heck out of me. And they say the same thing every time. They didn't know they had their gun in their purse or their bag or whatever when they go to the airport. How in the world?
We know. We know all about that.
Oh, my
I get
gosh.
it. All the time, brother.
That's an ongoing problem, so.
Make themselves look more, I don't even, stupider is a word, but dumber. Why? Just why? I don't understand. I
Well,
just
that's
don't.
okay. I'll ask Tony on Saturday on our radio show here. It's 8 a.m. every Saturday morning, 8 to 9 a.m. We are beating the Big K in the ratings. I just got that officially from somebody involved in that. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. That's the wrong banner. Hold on. There we go. All right. The Ralph Williams, Tony Moreno show, 1250 a.m., 92.5. The Answer every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. I'm going to ask Tony. And we talked earlier before he came on about Salem's Market. Sad to hear they closed up in the Hill District. Another market went belly up there in the Hill District. I don't get it. You complain you don't have a store, then you have a store and you run it out. I mean, I just don't understand what's going on up there in the Hill District. And it's really awful to hear that kind of stuff. We spoke about that earlier in the show. And you can also watch the replay of the show here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X platforms. You can watch the replay of this show on my YouTube channel, Ralph Williams, RW Media. And please subscribe and also follow me on Twitter, X platform as well. Also, don't forget about our shows on 1250. I don't want to forget about me and these guys every single Saturday, 2 to 3 p.m. Ralph Williams, Smoke and Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, and Luther Dupree, 1250 a.m., 92.5 The Answer. And it's called the Sports Corner radio show, and we're on every single Saturday afternoon, 2 to 3 p.m. as well. All right, Bill, let's talk about Montview Heights up in West Mifflin. You know, the DA walked around up there, pretty much shut the place down because of the raccoons, bad ceilings caving in, just bad up there. He chased down the owners, found out who they are. Now all three owners are being convicted of federal theft of federal funds from HUD and didn't use the funds to fix the buildings up there. Your thoughts on Montview Heights up in West Mifflin?
Man, somebody likes to pocket cash, brother. It sounds like they want to be that bad landlord, man. I mean,
Yeah.
what do you do it, man? What's up with that? I don't get. I kind of understand in a way, but if you're getting federal government funds and giving you the money, what are you doing?
Exactly.
You can make that up with rent, man. If you
Yes,
fix
exactly. Yeah, that's something called a slum landlord there, Bill. I mean, you know. So.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry. I just
Yeah.
had a place like that.
The DA last year, the DA went up where he walked around. He talked to the people up there, DA Zapala, and now he finally cracked the whip and found these people. And now they're in trouble with the federal government because, and I want to thank DA Zapala for that because he was able. I mean, I'm not happy about the fact that the people had to be misplaced, but he was able to get them. I mean, hotels or whatever. I guess through the Red Cross or some agencies in Allegheny County. Because this is ridiculous. You can't live like that. I mean, that's terrible. You know?
No. Yeah, I just don't get. I mean, I get it to the.
I don't wish that on anybody. I really don't. I don't wish that on anybody to live like that up in Montview Heights, up in West Mifflin. And I've been there. In my time, you know, I drove a cab for 15 years. I've been up there many times. You know, I worked for 2 different cab companies, and you know, so. But it's just crazy. It's really ridiculous up there. Comment section wide open, emails wide open. We had some while Tony Moreno was on, and you're welcome to express your comments as well. All right. Let me see here. What else can we talk about here? Okay, here we go. The new Pittsburgh International Airport opening up this fall, Bill. They took the train out. There's not going to be any more train. The moving walkways, there's going to be no more. It's going to be easier to get around. Your thoughts on the new airport?
Yeah, it's the first time I heard about it, brother. Like I said, you're a wealth of information, and so I'm just getting educated on that too as well. So I'm all for that. But here's the thing: the train. Where does that leave people off? Is that going to be like a hindrance to people now because of the train?
Well, no. What they're going to do is they shortened it down. Where you know how you pull up to go up into check-in. You know, you pull up that ramp there. When you go up there, you go into check-in, you check your bags in, or you do what you got to do at ticketing. You will walk across this walkway, and on top of it has the city of Pittsburgh, like you're going through the Fort Pitt Tunnel. And you only walk a short distance, and you're at TSA.
Oh,
there's no, you're at TSA. There's no more, no more nonsense. And then once you get to TSA, then you walk through TSA. You're at your concourse. You don't have to take no more escalators. You don't have to do none of that horse and cadoodle and go take one elevator down to one floor and another one. You know how that goes. You know,
Well,
and all
then it
that.
sounds like it's going to be an asset to everybody for sure.
Yes, exactly. Easier for people like you and I, who
Oh, yeah,
you know, can't walk all that distance like that and all that stuff. You know what I mean? You
absolutely,
know.
absolutely.
So,
Yeah, sounds
yeah,
wonderful, man. Check that out.
yeah. I don't travel no more because I didn't appreciate the way I was treated when I flew to Raleigh the last time by TSA. But we'll see what happens. Maybe it's going to be better. They're supposed to make it faster for the luggage to come out, faster and better, because it won't have to be transported and then it has to come across under the ground and go into the where the luggage area is. It just comes straight over to the luggage area. Everything's going to be faster, moving quicker, and things like that.
And further, when TSA keeps finding all these guns, they can have Jake's gun sale over on the corner over there. You know what I mean? They can have anything that they want.
Hey, you know what? People leave cars and stuff out there, Bill. Have you ever seen it on the news where they show that auction
Yeah.
that they're having? People leave cars out there. They leave jewelry. I mean, I don't know, why do you do that? I mean, how can you be? Well, it's a concept here on this show. Stupid never takes a vacation. You know what I mean? Yeah. Cell phones galore. What else? TVs, whatever. I mean, just dumb stuff. You know what I mean?
I can't even imagine. Probably switchblades and all kind of goofy stuff.
How about 2 years ago when everybody left those? We're leaving dogs out there and stuff like that. Remember that one? Oh my gosh, that was terrible.
That was sad. I mean, like the owner wants to ditch the dog. I mean, what the hell? It's sad.
Oh yeah. Oh, it is. It's terrible. But,
absolutely sad.
All right, here we go, Bill. Mount Oliver. The citizens of Mount Oliver have gotten together and they're suing along with the Pittsburgh, or they're suing the Pittsburgh Board of Education, or they're suing the city schools because the city schools were charging them taxes and none of the kids in Mount Oliver go to school in Pittsburgh Public School. And they were being charged city school taxes because the county said that because they were a neighborhood that was close to the city of Pittsburgh and that the city of Pittsburgh does their garbage and they do their paramedic rescue and they do, I don't think they do fire yet for them. I think they still have a volunteer fire department, but they do their paramedics, they do their trash, just like Wilkinsburg, okay? And since they've been unsuccessful at making it a part of the city of Pittsburgh, the city's school system decided to charge for the school district tax to that area, and nobody goes to school there. Your thoughts on that, Bill? I think that's a ripoff and highway robbery there.
I mean, I believe that. I mean, 100%. I mean, just because they do, I mean, they would have to make, it pretty much presentable to them to also say, hey, you know what, these kids are going to the schools here, so we can charge you for that and so forth. Like, I believe people have a case. I really do.
Right.
Now, I'm no lawyer or anything like that, but that doesn't sound like something that, even though they do their garbage and things of that nature, if you're going to do all that, you are going to charge these people, make it known. Say, hey, look, we're doing this. We're going to charge these people for them to go to this, to the school. And they're not even in that school district. But, I don't know how that can be divided like it. You know what I'm saying, brother?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, you're going to divide that. How are you going to divide that up, between, the city and then, it's a big mess. But I believe those people have a case for sure. Absolutely.
Oh, they do. They've already taken it to a judge, and he says they have a case. So we're going to find out what happens. They hired a lawyer, and but you know what? You just don't do that to people anymore, Bill. People are not putting up with that. And after and again, I'm going to keep on bringing it up. After this last presidential election, people have had enough. They're tired of being taken. They're tired of being, ripped off. The scammers out there. Yeah. Oh, by the way, anyone that's on Snap, I want to urge you to this. Anyone that's on Snap, be very careful because there are people putting skimmers on these things. And some lady got ripped off. She got her whole entire food stamp allotment stiffed. She got scammed, and someone took it, and now she can't feed her kids. And she's got 4 kids, and she can't feed them because of that. They took her food stamps. They hacked her card or whatever. The scammers are getting slicker and slicker. Instead of going out and getting a job, these lazy people that were collecting money from COVID are now doing criminal activity to make their money. They're scamming people on Bitcoin. They're scamming people on Snap, and that's bad when they do it on Snap. And now Snap, of course, in their infinite wisdom, is not permitting or not allowing you to. They're not giving you that money back. So if you get stiffed, you got to eat it.
Yeah.
You got to eat it, Bill. Something has to change here, man. You got to eat it. That's unacceptable.
That's,
I mean, that
really is. I mean, you're taking away from these people's mouth, from their children and everything, and they're not going to get refunded for it. I mean, that's not their fault.
No, it's not their fault at all. And see, Snap has a bad habit. The welfare system, they have a bad habit of doing this. They want to stick it in your lap all the time. Rather than trying to go out and help you, they want to stick it in your lap. And they do it all the time. It's not, you know what I mean? I know that because I'm on disability. I collect food stamps, that kind of thing, and so, I know exactly what it's like. You don't know the fights I've had to go through with them, and then they don't have enough workers. And then I got somebody makes a smart aleck comment. Well, we don't have the time to tell you that you should have the right documents. Well, how am I supposed to know? I filled out my renewal, and I've never had to give any kind of documents. And all of a sudden, you change the rules and don't tell nobody.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Okay. That's another problem we have in this country, and it's here and it's everywhere. Nobody tells anybody anything, and they just change the rules when they feel like it.
Communication, brother. Communication.
Yes.
No matter
Yes.
if email, by email, by mail, whatever you want to do it, but to get the communication there somehow, some way, man, just get it there.
Yes, exactly. All right, let's see what we got going on here today. All right. Okay, I have some bad news. Well, tomorrow's event of Claudia Rosano's The Leadership Playbook has been postponed. So if you have tickets, call the River Hounds. They'll get you your money back. The Leadership Playbook has been postponed. A new date possibly will be set. I will get the information from Claudia and get it to you here and on the radio show too. So don't forget to listen into those. Also, our new show on Saturday called Sports Wrap, 9:00 a.m. as part of the triple header of Ralph on Saturday. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, the Twitch and Twitter X platforms, the South Florida Tribune Network, and also on Huddle Sports Network. And we're in the process of being on a few other networks nationally as well. All right. Also, don't forget about the Ralph Williams, Tony Moreno show every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., 1250 a.m., 92.5 The Answer. And that is with me, Ralph Williams, and Tony Moreno, who was just on earlier to talk about some facts about some things. And it was great having him on as well. And tomorrow's Sports Corner show has been postponed. We'll be back next Tuesday. I have a prior obligation and we're not going to be able to do the show tomorrow. So Sports Corner show and Wrestle Talk will not be on tomorrow. But next Tuesday, I'm working on getting on Kanan Christopher, independent wrestler who I met at Wrestle Talk or Wrestle Rex. And also don't forget Ralph's Opinion Wednesday night, 7:00 to 8 p.m. Ralph's Opinion with me, Ralph Williams. Lots of national issues to talk about, including another plane incident in Canada, in Alaska, all over the country, all these plane incidents. I don't know if it has to do with the FAA shortage that Donald Trump created, but we'll see, Bill, about that as well. All right. So, Bill, your thoughts on Station Square? As you know, the owners of Station Square have bellied up. They are trying. It's up for sale yet again. Hard Rock Cafe is left. Buca de Beppo is gone. Joe's Crab Shack is gone. And they have a few businesses left over there. And Tupelo Honey just reopened after a health department shut them down for some nonsense. Your thoughts on Station Square, Bill, and what,
Well, since those businesses that were like a staple there for all those years, all those decades.
Yes.
I mean, if you were a business and you were looking to come into Pittsburgh and you did your research on Station Square, would you go there?
I wouldn't now. But before, yes.
Oh, yes.
Earlier in the years, yes. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. So the biggest thing over there right now is the Sheraton.
Yes, that's it. Oh, well, I think Texas Deep Brazil's still over there, and I think they have a Starbucks or something over there, but there's not a whole lot over there.
And then you still got, the parking
Got a
garage.
couple bars over there. Yeah.
Parking garage goes to the city anyway. But what I'm saying, is that all that has shut down. Back in the day, that was definitely hip hop in place. I feel bad about those people, especially who own it. If Sheraton goes out, man, well, what's going to happen? They miles just
And there's nothing. I mean, I go across the Smithfield Street Bridge, so do you. If you take a little peek over at Station Square and the lights are on, and there's nothing in there.
Yeah,
Nothing but that Tupelo honey and those bars that are in there that are down a little ways. There's a couple bars down there, and that's it. There's really nothing in there. Yeah.
And they had those people. They had those fresh new apartments over there a couple years ago.
Yeah, exactly. They do. Yeah. Oh, those are filled up, I think. But they had some theft over there for a little while there. They had to change security forces and everything over there. They had some theft, including a cleaning company that was working in there, and they were stealing safes and stuff and jewelry and stuff out of people's apartments and stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow, crazy stuff. But I'm just saying, while you were over there, they had all those. They built all those down there, man. And you didn't have to go too far to have a good time. You were right there. You didn't have to go on the south side. You were on the south side, right in the middle of the heart of everything. But now there's nothing. I mean, what about what was that Station Square? What was that? What's that restaurant over there?
Grand Concourse is still there.
Yeah. I mean, that's a major thing there. Plus, they
used that restaurant in some movies, man. The next 3 days they used that restaurant. Some other movies.
I mean, we got some big things still over there, but if they close up, man, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they need to sell that to somebody who can develop it and really make it into something special. I've said this many times, and I don't understand why people don't go with it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they think they know more than I do, and they don't. Okay. Why don't you take some of these vacant malls and vacant places and make them into entertainment complexes? Put in an indoor water park. Put in excuse me, I bumped this button here. Hold on. I bumped my cursor and it hit a banner there. There we go. Okay. So anyway, why don't they put entertainment complexes in there? Bowling and golf, a little indoor miniature golf and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Go-karts. I mean, but those things don't last. People are not doing those things anymore. I talked to a guy who has a place out in Leedsdale, and he told me they're slow as the dickens. And he said all the bowling alleys are slow too. There's a whole lot not going on. It hasn't gone on since last year. He said last summer was the last time they were busy. So I mean, so I don't know if it's the economy that's driving this slowness, or if it's just people just don't get into that stuff anymore. I don't know, but to me,
back in the day, I mean, still too. I mean, bowling was like kind of like a dying sports. Like
my gosh, everybody loved to bowl, night bowling and everything. Yeah,
and then you got Jason Belmonte from Australia, who lit up the PPA with two-handed bowling, and now everybody's wanting to become a two-handed bowler. And now bowling seems to be coming up just a little bit, not too much. I said just a little bit, but
bowling's like boxing. Boxing went away for a little while, and now it's starting to come back up. You know what I mean?
I mean, we could thank Jason Belmo for for firing up the PBA and lighting it up with his two-handed delivery and so forth, and that's awesome, because now they want to go on and want to see what's going on, and there's a couple, like I said, there's more PBA bowlers out there that are two-handed, Anthony Simonson, Jesper Svensson, he's a lefty, but things of that nature. I know you have no idea what I'm talking about, brother.
No, I do. I've watched PBA once in a while. I like that left-handed bowler. What was his name again? You told me about? Here, Jill said the Grand Concourse. Okay. And then she said the Gandy Dancer. Remember that place?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's still there. I'm not real sure. Okay. All right, and then it says here, what do we got? Okay, this content watcher, it says cheap viewers or streambook.com remove the space. I don't know what that means, but that comes up every once in a while. I have no idea what that means.
I don't know.
But no, I understand what you're talking about. There's a couple lefty bowlers I watched on PBA.
Okay. All right.
Some of the bowling things once in a while.
Maybe Parker Bone, I think maybe it might have been the left-hander that I was talking about.
Yeah, that guy. And then there was a guy from Greensburg who was involved in big-time bowling there. I've seen him on a couple TV thing. Who?
BJ Moore.
Yeah. I've seen him on PBA tournament things.
There's some,
I've even watched cornhole.
cornhole. Now
Yeah.
that's something that came up real quick.
Yeah, and pickleball. They're putting pickleball courts in Monroeville Mall. Did you hear that?
Right. You told me that, and I'm like, I can't believe it. And that's another thing that came up real fast, pickleball.
Yeah, pickleball. Yeah, exactly.
I guess it's just like tennis, brother. I have no idea what.
Well, it's a ball that's shaped like kind of like a pickle, and then you use a racket that's it's a closed up tennis racket, like a ping pong racket kind of. But it's a bigger racket. Yeah.
And you just get it back and forth over the net.
Yeah, it makes this little noise, like. Yeah.
Yeah, I get you for sure. I get you definitely, but I don't know. I guess it's like tennis.
Yeah, it is like tennis, actually.
Okay,
To be honest with you.
Yeah,
they even have doubles. They have tournaments. That pickleball is going to be fun at Monroeville Mall. They need to do something with that mall to begin with. That mall's fallen apart over the years.
the
only
thing in there, J.C. Penney and Dick's Sporting Goods, I think.
Yeah, Dick's is still there. Yeah, so they got some of them outdoor stores too that are still there.
Yeah, and I think what you call it is still there.
Macy's is still there.
The
Barnes and Noble bookstore, maybe. Yeah, Barnes and Noble. Yeah.
Yeah, that one there. See,
town isn't the same either. You need a key to use the bathroom in downtown. Yeah. Daniel Lavelle, believe it or not, president of city council, got a grant for $200,000 to put porta potties downtown, north side in Oakland. Oh boy.
Oh, is this right?
Yeah, porta potties. There are those portable bathrooms, and they're going to be cleaned out like the ones they have downtown. Yeah, well,
I get you. So they're going to be just all over the place.
Yeah, they're going to be downtown. He said north side, North Shore, and Oakland. I think he said. Yeah. So.
Well, just think about it, man. The drunks in Oakland over there knocking over the porta potty instead of going in and blowing up somebody else.
Jill makes a good point here. No more fast food downtown. No more fast food downtown. So,
Yeah.
And that's true. There's nothing. I mean, I was downtown last year for the transit conference, Bill. And I go down there and I stopped at Arby's on Liberty.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And they have breakfast at that one. So I stopped and got a sandwich. I leave, and I was talking to the manager there, and he says, the Furbies are coming, and you know how they like to walk around town, they like to eat and stuff. He says there's no fast food places or anything reasonable for them to go eat at. All there is some overpriced diners and some other stuff down here, and that's it. There's nothing for no one to sit down or grab a bite to eat and walk around or anything.
Yeah, because I know Pamela's is probably still down there.
Jill said they removed them, the bathrooms downtown. So but I know Daniel Lavelle said it did get some funding for it, and they are coming back. He got some funding for it. So
I know there was a Burger King down there long ago.
Yeah, it's gone. That was the one at the corner of 7th and Smithfield there. That was a Chinese buffet. Remember we ate there that time at that Chinese buffet downtown? Well, that's gone. And I'll tell you off the air about what happened there. I'm not going to tell you here.
Okay, no problem. What about that McDonald's too? When are McDonald's down there?
Both of them are gone. They're all gone. All the McDonald's are gone.
No kidding.
Because you know what happened? The same owner owned the Market Square one, the one on Wood Street.
Yeah.
And the one over at Wood Street there, he, by the T station, he got in trouble because one of his employees decided to get funky and walk outside and beat up on a customer, on a senior citizen customer, put him in a hospital and almost crippled him for life. And of course he sued them. And there you go.
Oh my gosh. No kidding.
And McDonald's took his franchises because of what happened with all the violence downtown.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know somebody a senior citizen got jacked. Oh my gosh. She said they killed a kid. What?
Yeah. And they know that story. Yeah. She come out, she beat up an old man and they killed a kid in the process because there was a whole crowd of people around and somebody got stomped and killed or whatever.
Oh my gosh. How was it? Or how long?
Yeah, that was downtown. I used to, okay, here we go. Jill said she used to work for the homeless or work with the homeless there. See?
Okay.
there. All right. So, yeah. And we all know what's going on with the homeless downtown, too.
Yes.
You know, so, but
So how long ago was that incident? Was that a couple years ago? A decade?
yeah. What? Yeah. That happened about 4 years ago. That happened. She just walked out apparently and beat up this guy.
Oh
This
my.
older senior citizen just beat him up. And
Oh,
she claims he said something to her. They filed charges against her for assault. Then they went after the owner, and
oh,
McDonald's said no more.
my,
You're done.
oh
So
my goodness. What a bunch of I didn't know that. Yeah, I
yeah,
didn't know. I'm surprised
yeah.
that never came up in a conversation that we've ever
Yeah,
had.
the homeless people were hanging out in there. They were overdosing on drugs in the bathrooms,
Oh,
and then and then on top of that, they were hanging out inside the McDonald's there. And you go in there, you want to get something to eat. You don't want to be seeing a bunch of homeless people when they're trying to solicit money from you or whatever,
absolutely.
or whatever. And you know, I got nothing against homeless people, but they were always hanging out in the McDonald's all the time. Then you shut the McDonald's down, they go somewhere else to hang out. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? You know.
yeah, I got you. No, I didn't
You know.
know that. And so I can imagine about the homeless people going in there, like wait until it open
Yeah.
up at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. or whatever to
Yeah.
get someplace warm,
Yeah.
So I got you. Yeah, I get you.
They were loitering in there. They had a 10-minute time limit, but they couldn't keep it up. And some of these people, whatever they get paid, they're like, "Oh, I get paid." Hold on a minute. Okay, yeah, I know about the bank. Yeah, it's Huntington Bank, the McDonald's at Market in Liberty. There,
Yeah, I
it's a
got you.
Huntington Bank. So, and then yes, says Jill. Jill's been very active tonight. Thank you for being part of the program. McDonald's. He was in a wheelchair. Yeah,
Oh,
I remember
that even
that
makes
one.
it
Yep.
even juicier.
Oh man, the library hangout at the arcade. Yeah, they're at the
Ah,
old Jenkins arcade. Yeah. Oh,
yes.
that. Yeah, and you got that arcade place on Smithfield Street now. They're lurking up that way now.
Oh,
So
okay. So there's a
I
new
heard, I heard, and I don't know if I told you this, Bill. The Target downtown, #1 in the country in theft
really.
for Target stores. And Target said that if it doesn't improve by the end of this year, they're shutting it down.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to be shut down.
Yeah, because Walmart's now, and I heard about this today. Walmart's, Giant Eagles, all kinds of places, millions and millions of dollars in theft, and now they shut the one down over at Waterworks because of
Yes,
theft.
they did. Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah. That's big
and
time.
all that.
A couple years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Walmart's shutting them down all across the country because of theft.
Well, yeah. I mean, come on, that's a big retailer, man. Can you imagine? Each and every store, $100,000. That's going to be a lot of money, brother.
Jill said she needs a mic.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot. Hey, that's gonna
Hey,
be,
Jill, you can put on your own streaming thing here. It's not that expensive. You can get a $30 mic off of Temu or something in a small little mixer. Hook it up to a computer.
there you
So
go. I mean, brother. I mean, just think about that. I mean, $100,000 here and there. Before you know it, trillions of dollars.
Hey,
And
Jill used to work at Wood Street Commons. I almost lived there. I was
oh,
going to get a place there, and someone told me not to.
and Five Below. She's all over.
Yeah,
Man.
Five and Below's downtown too, but that might end up closing up too. Who knows? I can go to Bill's. LOL. There you go. All right.
There it is.
All right, Jill. Jill's on a roll tonight, though, Bill. That's cool. So I'm glad we have people like Jill commenting because
She's
the comment section's been kind of low tonight. But as far as just Jill only, and then we had some emails earlier, so we'll go from there.
She's in this building, brother.
Oh, I bet.
She's in this building.
Well, good.
She's in,
Good.
she's in this building. But anyway,
That's
like I was telling you, brother, I told her that we were going on here tonight, and I told her to look us up. But listen, like I said,
Jill says she knows her stuff, Bill.
oh, I'm not saying she don't. Absolutely not.
No, absolutely. She does know her stuff. And let me say this, Jill, thank you. Spread the word. Spread the word.
Absolutely.
Grassroots spreading is always good. Spread the word.
When we're done tonight, I'm going to definitely check out Tony's place on on Facebook. To get more educated about him because what he said was really an eye opener about the Berg.
Yeah, it is. It is an eye opener. Do you know Ed Gainey? Do you know Ed Gainey could get in trouble twice with the federal government, not only for immigration, but I told you he's being investigated for that American Rescue money. That money was supposed to be used for public safety and for the city needs and some other things. He took that money and hired people all
That's,
across the, yeah.
that's what you said to me. And then also on top of that, brother,
They wasted it.
all of a sudden, 2025, as soon as 2025 came new, all of a sudden, all this stuff started opening up about him.
Yeah, and $62 million loan with 32% interest.
Jeez.
You had all that money from American Rescue. You mean to tell me you had to go out and get a $62 million loan, and we still can't get new vehicles for public works. We still can't get new fire trucks and new ambulances and everything else.
Unbelievable. I mean, I'm speechless, brother. I'm really speechless about this because you and I both know Ed, and I'm just speechless about all this. I mean, my goodness, come on, brother. What's your thoughts on this? I mean, what's your, it's crazy. It's crazy. It really is crazy.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing I'm disappointed with Ed Gainey about is the fact that you and I are friends with him, and I expected better. I really did. And he just, it's just, when he first got on, I'm riding around with salt truck drivers and we're doing this and that. We're going to fix this. We're going to fix that. Badudo didn't do this and so and so and so.
Listen, what did I tell you when we were at the Pastor Paul's, closing?
Retirement service, yeah.
Yeah, remember? And then I took that photo with Ed, remember? And when he whispered in my ear, what did I tell you he said to me?
He said that this is more than I thought it would be.
There it is. And you know what?
He wanted to change Pittsburgh, and he just didn't do it in the right way, and he got advice from the wrong people. And and now things are, the election's here, and he's starting to get embarrassed. And my opinion is, how about the shooting in Brighton Heights at the funeral home? Yeah, I'm going to tell you a story there, Jill. How about the one at that church when they were having that funeral and that kid got shot? Guess who was involved in that? Guess who was involved in that? George from East Liberty Family Health Care.
Yeah,
George Moses. He's a deacon there at that church. And he said if this one woman didn't grab him and put him down on the ground,
he would have got killed.
He would have got killed.
Yeah, I remember.
He was involved in that.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that night, that day when I went in because East Liberty Family Health Care. When I went in to go see, George was still there.
Yeah.
George was still there. And when George was still there, he told me about that.
Yeah, he told me this one girl grabbed him and threw him to the ground. And if she didn't do that, he would have been shot.
I mean, that's a scary situation.
Bullet went right over his head.
At a funeral. Come on, man. I mean, violence can take anywhere, any place, anywhere, at any time. Doesn't matter. But, man, really? Come on.
Yeah, it was a gang thing or something, or they didn't like the kid or something like that. But so what? You don't do that.
You can't even put somebody to rest with having somebody to come around and shoot an AK.
Well, even back in the day, gangs and the mob and all that stuff, the mafia. When there was a funeral for a family member, did they not have respect not to interfere, get involved? In fact, they would even show up at the damn funeral.
That's exactly right.
Am I right? I mean,
right.
Yeah.
Funerals, weddings, any of that. If somebody was caught, brother, even putting somebody, I hit on somebody at that time. Let me tell you what happened to that person. Of course, I don't have to do that, but I mean, you could probably let your imagination run wild.
Exactly.
At a wedding or a funeral or any kind of celebration, family-wise, I'm just saying. You could take a look at some of the Godfathers and so forth.
Yeah. Even the Sopranos. I mean, if one family didn't like another, they would still have respect, show up at the funeral and everything else, shake hands with them and everything else, peace and harmony. But once, I drove a cab for 15 years, Bill. There were people that didn't like me. There were people that hated my guts. Okay. But they respected me. And then I'm going to say this. They respected me enough that when I gave them one of my customers to take care of and run to make sure it got taken care of, the customer got handled, and I would give them that trip, they knew better than to screw around with my customers. They knew better than to give them their business card. They knew better not to mess around. They might have hated me. They respected me enough that if I gave them a trip They knew doggone well not to be disrespectful to my customers.
And that's awesome to do, brother. I mean, you took that and you took it to another level with these people. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
And I tell you this right now, anybody who is listening about this mafia thing, if you want to see what's going on, watch Goodfellas. Goodfellas was about the hitmen of the mafia, because a lot of people put the categories together, and they are together, but they're kind of separate, if you know what I mean. But you know something, brother? I get what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying, man. I know exactly what you're saying, and that's definitely damn well respected, bro. You know, some people don't like me. What can I do? I don't. What can I say? I don't care. What can I do?
Well, I know a lot of people don't like me, because if they did like me, I'd have more subscribers on YouTube. So and more followers on Twitter. So
Oh, brother, listen to me. That's only just the fire and the oven ready to brew up fast. And I mean to tell you, it's coming.
Yeah, I don't care if people don't like me. It's coming. You're right. I'm tired of being the media redheaded stepchild in this damn game.
Hey, listen, you've got enough platforms out there then to, and I always tell you to say hello to the boys for me. You've got enough platforms out there.
Hey, you got to say hello to them on Thursday, man. That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It was fun. But like I said, you got enough platforms out there, brother, for you to catch. Whether it's this program, whether it's something else, whatever. You've got enough platforms out there to satisfy anybody's, palate.
Thanks. Or anybody's, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And if the big K would hire us, or somebody would hire us and pay us, we wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? But we have to be here because that's not what's happening. Okay, Jill says, Jill's hot tonight with this. She says it's because of these punks who have no morals and no father in their life. We've had this discussion, Bill, about parenting.
Yes,
I'm tired of it, and my wife and I have had a discussion about this too. All right, why do you put it in society's lap? Why not? If these kids are bad, go after the parents. Start putting the parents in jail or doing something. You know what I mean? Find them, start putting them in jail, start doing some things. There was a magistrate over in Turtle Creek, and I know you know who I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
I used to date, and I'm not going to mention the girl's name. Okay, I dated her. Her and her daughter were problem. Her daughter was a problem child.
Absolutely. Yep.
Caused all kinds of problems in the neighborhood. So they were always in front of Scott Schricker's office down in Turtle Creek all the time. Scott Schricker said I had enough. He said, if I see you or your daughter in my courtroom again for any reason, I don't care if it's for spitting sidewalk or littering, I will throw you both in jail. So you better start wising up and behaving. Well, her daughter decided to go out and throw eggs. And what happened was, when she was throwing eggs, she was throwing them at a cab or something, missed the cab and hit a police car with an egg. So the police, they ended up arresting her. They took her down for questioning. She had to go down, of course, to the police station, and everything else. Well, the day that she was leaving for Ohio, she had the hearing. Scott Schricker was going to put her in jail, put her and her daughter in jail. Well, the daughter's dad stepped in and says, look, I'm taking them to Ohio. I'm getting them out of here. Can you please not put them in jail? I'm taking them now. And he says, I'm putting them to your responsibility. If I see them in my courtroom one more time for any reason, they will go to jail. And he said, get them out of here. That's exactly what he said. Get them out of here.
Brother, first of all, I'm going to address what she says here, because when my kids were growing up, okay, they were with their little attitudes. You know what I'm saying? So I says, the one time we were in Walmart over in Fox Chapel, and I told them, the one, I think it was the mini mooch who got out of control. All right. And I told her, I says, I want everybody in here to get out their little cameras and put this on YouTube, because I'm about ready to kick this kid's ass. I said, you heard me right. This is my child. I'm going to discipline my child the way I see fit. So anybody who want to go ahead and get their cameras out, do it. And you know what? Mini Mooch stopped real quick.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that my ass got kicked when I was young.
Oh, everybody's did.
All right.
When they were young. Yeah.
When my kids, they were to get out of line, especially after that big thing with the ex-wife going to prison and all that stuff, and they thought that they could walk on daddy. I got news
It
for you.
happened that way.
Exactly correct. Because they knew and they respected that. All three of my kids respected that. Okay. Especially the one time when Megan came on over and she got smart with me because, she was being raised up in her mother's presence.
Yeah.
And the one time she got smart with me, I put her ass right in her place. And let me tell you something. She respected that. All three of them does. And I'm not just saying that because I'm father of the year or something like that. No.
Right.
No. Speak up, man. Just speak
But
up.
no, I like the part that time when we were coming back from a gig and I was staying at your place and they put their bike right in front of the door in the back and you grabbed it and put it in the trash, right out in the trash for the trash. And you said, I told them they put the bike there, it's going out in the trash. And he put it out in the trash. And then that one other time I was there and and the girls were crying, they couldn't find their crayons or something. You said, I told you put them somewhere where you could find them. I might have threw them away because I told you not to put them in a certain spot. But you gotta do that. That's like that time I got ignorant with Terry's daughter. Remember that time she was over the house and Terry made that really good rigatoni and she was like, I ain't eating that. I don't like spaghetti or I want McDonald's. Can one of you go get McDonald's?
No.
I said, you got up and walked away because you knew I was ready to give it to her. And I did. And I told her, I says, look, your mother busted her hump in here, busted her butt to make this food for you. And you want one of us to go to McDonald's? Get out of here.
Listen, I'm not telling you all who are listening and viewing and whatever else.
We're all perfect parents or anything,
to kick your kid's ass. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying a little bit more disciplinary. I mean, I learned when I was growing up. Did I touch my kids? No, I did not. I did raise my voice to them, and they knew once I raised my voice, that put them in place. But that was just because of one thing that you would tell your kids to, and they did. And once that, they respected it. Did they have their crayons on the floor anymore? Nope. Did they have
their bike in front of that door? No.
No, they did not. Because you know why? I told them once, they seen the action, and that was all she wrote. Period.
That's like that time they trashed your van with litter from the McDonald's. You said, no more food in the van.
Oh.
It's done. It's over. No more food in the van.
That was the worst. I'm in the back cussing them out, brother.
Everybody. Oh, no, you were mad as heck, too, because you were cleaning it out. We were getting ready to leave for a gig. I stayed over your place at these damn kids with this van. Oh, they tore it up, and I was like, oh, my gosh. And you were, like, cleaning it out, cussing away, and then you said, no more food in the van. No more food in the van. I was like, oh, my gosh.
And then now, it's not food now, it's electronics.
Oh, yeah, electronics everywhere, yeah. And the stupid people, and stupid never takes a vacation. And I'll give you another example. Leave your car door unlocked so somebody can steal it, or leave your computer or your GPS or your phone in your car. Oh. Leave your Christmas gifts where everybody can see them. Hide them in your trunk, and then So there you go.
The thing they even tell you on the news. Look, if you're going out, put your gifts away so nobody can see what you bought. But what do people do?
Well, now for Hyundais or some model cars or something, AAA this Saturday over in the one which one was it? Is it the one in Robinson? I think I'm trying to remember. One of the AAA locations is giving out free car locks for your steering wheel for a couple of the model cars because people are stealing them left and right. So they're giving you a steering wheel lock for free.
No,
and it's at one of the AAA locations. Yeah, I forget what the car. I think it's a Hyundai, maybe one of those. Yeah, or something, some model. All right, we're in the Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. I got to pay some bills here. 724-2010-500. Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. They're a studio sponsor and also sponsor for the radio shows as well. 724-2010-500. Call Mata today. Look, I can't stress this anymore. Get UV lighting for your house. A, so you can see where you're going, and B, so someone doesn't rob your house. Get UV lighting outside. Chase the crooks away, and get snow melt from them as well. They will come over, and they will make sure that your driveway or your sidewalk or whatever is clear. Call Mata today, Heating and Air Conditioning, 724-2010-500. Mata. Also, Robin Campbell Insurance, Farmers Insurance. Listen, he does renters, life, auto, and home insurance or fire insurance. But listen to what I'm telling you. You need to get renters insurance, $16 to $20 a month. It's worth it. Don't be stuck. If building catches on fire and the landlord tells you they have insurance, or the elevator's not working, or elevators don't work in the building and they got to set you somewhere, you're covered. The insurance company will pay for it. What if Red Cross is short, and that has happened, and they can't put you somewhere? Guess what? You have renter's insurance. Let them put you somewhere in a hotel or something and pay for it. You have insurance. You're covered. Your stuff is covered. A fire happens. Your stuff is covered. Don't believe anything your landlord tells you, because most of the time they lie. All right. So just letting you know. Call Robin today, 412-366-3399. Robin Campbell Insurance. And then our buddy, our good friend Alex, Alex's Flowers. Call him today, 412-661-6071. If you didn't get paid, or you're late, or you forgot about your girlfriend for flowers for Valentine's Day, don't forget to give Alex a call. Funerals. He does really good job with funerals. He took care of he took care of Bill's aunt's funeral. He took care of my nephew's funeral. Took care of my wedding. Did a really good job with that. Billy and I have DJ'd some weddings that he's covered for flowers. This guy knows his flowers. 30 years in the business. 412-661-6071. Call Alex today. All right, there we are. All right, and all right, Bill, we're getting ready to wrap things up here in about 8 minutes. What kind of thought? What do you have? What do you want to talk about? How about the driving out there? You're the guy for that.
Oh my gosh, brother! I don't even know where to stop or continue. I mean, that lady, she was upset.
You know what? We could do a whole show just on that.
It really is.
My gosh.
It really is. I mean, the Florida people, they must have migrated back to Pennsylvania, because, I get the same thing no matter where you're at. And you know what? Here's the thing. If it's raining out or if it's snowing out, please stay home, people. Please stay home. Because let me tell you something right now. Okay? This is the way it works. If you get the older people out there, all right, that are driving, brother, you know what I'm saying? It's hazardous.
Oh, yeah.
It's very hazardous.
Oh, it's terrible. The ones I really can't stand is when you're going down the road and they cut in front of you and drive like a turtle, or don't know where they're going. Oh my gosh. With all the technology we have in this world today, GPS systems in your phone, just everything, people still don't know where they're going. What is going on here? I mean, it's stupid.
You know what's going on, brother? They may have like a Kia or a Honda or whatever, or something with a GPS system built in, right? But here's
and they don't know how to use it.
No, their problem is texting. They're texting. Yeah. That's the thing. Everybody still got to text. You got to wait till that text. You got to do the text. Man, please. When I tell people that I'm on the road, I'll text them later on. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even answer the phone when I'm on the road. You know that.
No, exactly.
If I'm driving, I don't answer. I'm done. You can leave a message. That's why God invented voicemail.
Absolutely. Throw me a message. Throw me a text later on. I'll get you.
You don't know how many times I've had accidents because people were on their phone during the big snowstorm. I'll tell you a story. Remember when I worked at First Student out in Crafton?
Yes.
I had to go cash my check at the Aces Check Cash on Noblestown Road. I'm coming up Noblestown Road, go to make the left in there, and I get rear-ended. Why? I was on the phone. Why? That's why. Okay. Remember that time I got ran over on my scooter over at Penn and Negley? On the way home from church. It was 90-some degrees. I'm going back when I lived in Garfield, and I'm on my way back home, and I'm coming across that intersection. This lady just come right up and right in the crosswalk. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you. Yeah, because you were on the phone. That's why you didn't see me. I said, at the time, I mean, I'm not as big as I once was. At the time, if you couldn't see me, man, you got problems. I mean, you really got problems, Yeah,
man. There's just a bunch of things out there people do that, especially it's hazardous. Don't do it. Just don't. It's scary, and it really is. I mean, you've got to know what these people doing in front of you. You have to know. You have to kind of predict on what they're going to do. Because
about the time I saw people sliding down this hill, and I mean they were speeding down this hill, sliding big time because they were speeding and just going sideways down the hill, and they're going like this. I said, well, if you would slow down and see that the road's not salted or whatever, you might not plow into somebody's house. You know what they said? They said if the city would salt the streets and plow the streets, we wouldn't go into somebody's house. I said, the only reason you went into somebody's house is because you were speeding, you moron.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's just speeding.
I fantasized on social media about that. You should have seen my Facebook lit up. They were like, what are you talking about? Oh, they said, if the city would, get out of here.
But brother, use common sense too. when they give you driver's license, common
Well,
sense.
that went out the door a long time ago. I think Cracker Jack's giving out driver's licenses or something.
I don't know. I think
When you go to a pirate game and the vendor says Cracker Jack for sale, buy one. There might be a license in there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, that's all that's in there. That's all that's in there. You people are crazy.
Remember those little prizes?
Hey, and you notice that at a Bucko game, Cracker Jacks went up 50% over last year.
Oh, yeah, I know. I you know what? Oh, I don't even want to go there, man. Please leave. You got to take out a loan to go to a game, man. That's
Oh
terrible.
man, especially a Bucko game anymore. I took the
You
kids.
got to take out 2 loans, man.
When the church had tickets, remember?
Yeah, but the refreshments, man. Oh my gosh.
Holy hell, $20 for. Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Except for the night they used to have Dollar Dog Night, and Pastor Paul would load up on 10 of them or something. Remember?
That was the greatest.
Oh, how about the one year they had this? Listen to this. They had it. They so many people were ordering so many, they ran out of hot dog buns. That happened about 3-4 years ago. They ran out of hot dog buns. So now, get this, Bill. Now you're only allowed 2 for $1. Dollar Dog Night, you're only allowed 2.
But I remember Pastor
People
Paul
were overloading them. He come up with 10 of them loaded up on that tray. Those those cardboard trays. Yeah, he come up. He had 10 of them, man. We don't do that no more, man. I'm getting angry about that. We don't do that stuff no more. I'm not even going to go there.
No, that's a church activity that we enjoyed. I
Oh
enjoyed.
my God, I had fun at that thing.
That was Pastor Paul was in his section. He was over there handing out dogs.
Yeah, buying everybody a hot dog because they were $1, man. And he loaded them up too. But you know what's funny? I know somebody that spent the whole game in line just to get them hot dogs. The whole game in line.
Wow! Oh my God!
That's how long the lines were to get the hot dogs. They were in line, but now they only have them in certain areas now. So they don't, if you go to the one place, that's where you have to get the hot dogs.
Oh, so I can imagine that line being out the door. I can imagine.
Exactly. Well, now they limited it to 2, so nobody does it anymore.
Like I said, I haven't been at a game in a long since the kids were small. Actually, to be honest with you, and we were at, and that's where McCutcheon he hit a back-to-back homer. That was great. The kids loved it. I said, Kutch hit a homer twice in the left field, man. It was great. Loved it. And he's back. I don't know how long he's going to be, but he's back.
Yeah, I know he's back for another year. We'll see what happens. They're a bunch of bums this year. So anyway,
he's like, isn't he like cruising up to 40?
Yeah, he's almost 40 years old. I think he is. Yeah.
I mean, he's only got a little bit time left. If anything, whatever they're going to do. And I heard they were down in Bradenton and so forth and all that other stuff. Get ready for the season. Get ready for the season, man. I don't even know what you can do to even drag, people in anymore.
Yeah. I know. But
you can almost get seats for absolutely almost close to nothing.
Here, I'll tell you a good story. My brother-in-law Denny and my late brother-in-law Denny, we went to a Pirate game. We're walking across the Clementi Bridge because he parked downtown for $5 at them spots across from the Byam Theater, right there at that corner garage. So we walked across the bridge to go home, and we're walking across the bridge, and we were leaving. The Bucks were down. There was bases were loaded, 2 outs, two strikes on Giles. We're walking across the bridge. Next thing you know, we see the ball go over the fence. Giles hit a home run, and the Pirates won the game. They were down by like 3 runs, and he hit a grand slam and won the game. And we missed it because we left because we thought, they're going to lose this game too. They lost the first game, and we thought they were going to lose the second game. Giles, I told you 2 outs, 2 strikes on Giles. I said, it's done. It's over.
He cranked it over.
Yeah. Walking across the Clementi Bridge, and we hear the fireworks go off and the ball going over the fence. I'm like, oh, man.
I'm wondering, when you become a Pittsburgh Pirate, how many people have bets on who's going to hit them over the wall?
Oh, man, Vegas does that. Or they might be doing that at Rivers.
You never know, brother.
I bet on anything, anywhere, man. That's crazy. All right, Bill, we got to wrap things up here, man. Final thoughts before we go.
Hey, guys, just be safe out there with the weather conditions. Just be safe and travel with caution. We always love to hear the best part of your show. Thank you for having us. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. And also I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe on my YouTube channel, Ralph Williams, RW Media. Please subscribe. I'm low on subscribers. Why? I don't know. And also follow me on Twitter X platform as well. I'm also on Facebook, LinkedIn, Tumblr, and those are the social media platforms I'm on. Don't forget about our radio shows on Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. The Ralph Williams, Tony Moreno Show, and the Sports Corner Radio Show on 12:50 a.m. 2 to 3 p.m. Ralph Williams, Smoking Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, and Luther Dupree. And also, don't forget Wednesday night, Ralph's Opinion. Tomorrow night, Sports Corner and Wrestle Talk canceled for tomorrow night. I have a prior event to go to, so or another event I'll be at, and I will not be able to attend, be on the show. So the shows are canceled. Next Tuesday, we go on the Sports Corner and Wrestle Talk goes on the South Florida Tribune Network starting next Tuesday. We're going to be simulcasted on there as well, and we're going to be going on Spreaker Radio, part of iHeartRadio. So I just want to let everyone know those are coming up. RW Media Productions, Bill's back in the city, and we're all set to go. Jill, thank you for being part of the program tonight with your comments. And I want to thank everybody for watching. Until next Monday night, for Bill Cannata, I'm Ralph Williams. Have yourself a great one. Thank you.